All right, and we are live. Good evening po sa inyong lahat back there in the Philippines. It's a chilly morning here. Nasa freezer na naman po kami with just 0 degree ngayong umaga. But of course, we would like to greet all of you. Welcome back sa ating Team YouTube, Team Facebook, and of course sa mga magiging team replay natin later. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, and then you can just go back to all of our videos that we have. We have over 60 videos that we have now for our live stream playlist for general education, professional education. We also have our separate playlist for general education. We also have a separate playlist for professional education. If this is your first time to watch us, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you are following us on Facebook because all of our updates can be found in our Facebook account, okay? Our Facebook page, which is also Gurung Pinoy. You can also find us on Instagram and on TikTok. Now, before anything else, of course, we start with our opening prayer. This still has been prepared for us by Brother Efren Esteban. Please join us in our opening prayer.
Muli magandang oras sa bawat isa sa atin mga kaguro. Hiniling ko na samahan niyo ako sa ating pambungad ng panalangin bilang pagrespeto natin, pasasalamat natin sa ating Diyos na may likha. Tayo po ay manalangin. Panginoon, Ama, salamat po sa pagkakataon na ito na muli mo pong ipinagkaloob sa bawat isa sa amin upang magkaroon po ng isang pag-aaral, Panginoon. Tulungan mo po kami na maintindihan ng mga leksyon na aralin po namin. At patuloy po na pagpalain mo po ang Gurong Pinoy International. Sana po mas lalong lumago, lumawak pa ang mga gawain po nito, Panginoon. Mga students po na nandito, na Panginoon ay makuha po namin ang aming minimithi, Panginoon, ang aming pangarap. Sana po ay matupad ito, O Diyos. Pagpalain mo po ang family po ni Sir Ram, ni Ma'am Mek, Panginoon, sa kanilang mga ginagawa, kalusugan, higit sa lahat. At Panginoon, salamat din po sa natapos pong gawain kagabi, isang masaya na celebration, Panginoon, sa kabila po ng mga pagsubok na dinaranas namin, Panginoon, ay hinayaan mo po na kami po ay magkaroon po ng isang salo-salo online. Panginoon, pagpalain mo po ang isang pamilya po na ito, Panginoon. At isang bagong taon po muli ang siyang haharapin namin. At sana po kung paano mo po kami ginabayan sa nakaraang taon, sana po ay mas lalong maging smooth, maging matagumpay ang bawat isa sa amin, Panginoon. Salamat po sa lahat. Ang pinakadakilang regalo mo po sa amin ang aming Panginoong Jesus. Salamat po sa Kanya na binigay po niya ang Kanyang buhay. At siya po ang aming pag-asa. Siya po ang rason kung bakit po kami nandito. Lord, thank you so much po. At pagpalain mo po ang bawat isa hanggang sa matapos po ang activities po na ito, Panginoon. At sana po ay matanggap mo, mapakinggan mo ang mga hinaing namin na ito, mga pasasalamat sa pangalan ni Jesus, na aming Panginoon at manunubos. Amen.
Amen. Na malapit na ang licensure examination for teachers. And so we all need to really prepare well for your upcoming LET. No, malapit na, ilang buwan na lamang po. Now, if you'd want to really prepare for your upcoming LET, all of our exclusive materials can be found on Grow. Grow is Gurung Pinoy Review Online Work Group. This is our exclusive FB group. If it's your first time to watch us, this is where we send all the exclusive materials that we have from the previous LET, from the feedback of our students, and of course, those things that I am discussing here in our live stream. Okay, so you don't really need to take down of any notes. You don't really need to take down any screenshot. If you're a member of Grow, right after this live stream, you can find the material straight in Grow. Okay, that's Gurung Pinoy Review Online Work Group. This is just Gen Ed and ProfEd. It's very easy to become a member of Grow. It's only 500 pesos. This is a one-time payment. I repeat, this is a one-time payment until the day that you take the LET, and you can find all the details in your screen right now. We also have gift certificates. So ligawan nyo po yung mga nanalo sa ating mga raffle, sa mga previous contests natin, no, yung top 10 natin sa ating mid-review, meron po silang mga gift certificates. And so if they are already member of Grow, po pwede nyo pong mahingi yung kanilang gift certificates. So meron, I know some of them have already given their gift certificates to some of their friends. Okay, so Pasko naman, hingin nyo na po yung mga gift certificates nila. If you'd want to really become a part of Grow and you'd want to just do it using their gift certificates. Now, also good news, we still have our promotions, different promotions until the end of this year. Our majorship is still at 850. Again, that's 850 until the end of this year. Our majorships, of course, are English, we have social studies, math, biology, we also have Filipino and MAPE. Now, the rest of the majors, we are going to be just giving you your free materials. We don't have any lectures, and so all we can do is to just give you some freebies. Okay, now again, majorship is still at 850 until the end of this year. Now we also have our promo of 1,000. That's all in Gen Ed, Prof Ed, and Major. That's only 1,000 until the end of this year po. All the details can be found in your screen. There's Palawan LBC Cebuana, yung ML. If you are going to send through ML, we have a free code, no? Meron tayong code na binibigay, and you can send it free of charge. So mag-send lamang po kayo ng message sa Facebook page ng Gurong Pinoy. We also have the Metro Bank savings account. You can also send us your payment through live streams, no? Through our Super Chat, Super Sticker on YouTube. And we also have Gumroad and PayPal. Now, of course, your majorship coaches, we've already started last weekend. This weekend is going to be our last weekend for this year, and then we resume by January, okay? Of course, I'm taking care of my bio babies. We are meeting Sundays, no? So every Sunday we meet. This Sunday, we will meet for the discussion of our set 2. Now, majorship coach for math, of course, is Dr. Kim J. Enshot, laptop notcher, ranked 3rd, graduated summa cum laude, and I know that you have learned a lot from his discussion of set 1. Now, for SOC-SCI, social science, of course, we have Professor Rene Oquendo, product of UP and Ateneo. He has taught in both UP and he's still teaching in Ateneo now. We also have Coach Paul Heranio for English, product of UP, West Visayas State University, currently also taking up to become a lawyer, studying to become a lawyer. That's Professor Paul Heranio. Now for Filipino, we have Professor Lali Jane Cheng. She's also a supervisor, a head of Filipino in Ateneo, used to be my co-teacher also. And of course, we have Coach Renan for MAPE. Coach Renan, of course, is an awardee of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. And of course, he has never had a student who has failed in MAPE majorship. So again, if you are part of any of these majorships that I have mentioned, make sure that you join us, because of course, all 3 components are very important for you to pass the LET, okay? If you are BS Ed graduates, pag meron kayong majorship, no, your major is going to be 40%, then your ProfEd is also going to be 40% and 20% for your Gen Ed. So big chunk of your rating is coming from your ProfEd and also, of course, your majorship. So make sure that you enroll in these majorships that I've mentioned. Okay, now this is our schedule. I've already mentioned next weekend or this weekend, we are still going to have set 2 exam, then discussion. Then again, we resume by January 9th. Of next year. Now, again, remember, you can just go back to all this discussion that you have, even if you've missed the first discussion, the second discussion, even if you enroll in January, you can still go back to all the materials that we have here, because they all can just be found in your Google Classroom. Now, of course, we still have some of the schedules that we have for this month. There's 26, 27, 28, 29 for our Gen Ed and Prof Ed. You also have a 26, 3 to 5 p.m. with Dr. Lagon, 27, 1 to 3 p.m. with Dr. Lagon. Then, of course, I may have mentioned, or I may need to mention, that this is going to be our live stream, our last live stream prior to Christmas. Okay, so before you forget, greet everyone a Merry Christmas. Mag-Merry Christmas na po kayong lahat. Okay, now again, this has been mentioned already. That's 26 and 27. This is going to be live on Facebook, on YouTube, I mean. So 26, that's 3 to 5 p.m. And of course, 27, that's 1 to 3 p.m. Dr. Herman Lagon, he is licensed civil engineer. He is a guidance counselor, now, of course, a PhD holder, and now the principal of Ateneo. Okay, so you are going to learn a lot from Dr. Lagon, Doc H. And of course, this is going to be general science, earth science, and physics. We know that both of these subjects are favorites of the LET, both in your majorship, of course, if you're on general science or physical physical science major. And of course, if you are taking your Gen Ed, all of you are going to take your Gen Ed, then this is a big chunk, big part of your general education test. Okay, so make sure that you join us. That's December 26th, 3 to 5 p.m., then 27th, 1 to 3 p.m. This is free on YouTube only. Okay, now, but of course, again, today, our main agenda is, of course, to discuss your professional education. I hope that you have answered this. Is this your first time to watch us? I post the quizzes link on our Facebook page. You can just click on that. If you still don't have your quizzes account, then you need to make a quizzes account, and you can easily answer all the items there. And of course, these items can also still be found on Grow right after this discussion. Okay, so we start with our discussion for professional education. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you've liked this video. Go ahead and like this video, Team YouTube. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and share our video, start a watch party, tag your friends. Okay, and make sure that you react to this video. Thank you so much for all the sharers. Ma'am Jane Sol Caragay, maraming salamat po. And I also, before I forget, I also forgot to mention that we have a Barkada package for our majorship. No, this can also be applied to your Grow, can also be applied to your All-In. Meron po tayong Barkada package. You enroll as 4 people, but you only pay for 3 persons. Okay, there's a Barkada package. Po pwede mag-enroll yung 4 na tao, and you only pay for 3 people. So meron din po mga naghahanap dito ng mga kabarkada. Po pwede po siya sa mga majorship, po pwede po siya gamitin sa ating majorship, po pwede din po siyang gamitin sa Gen Ed ProfEd only, sa Grow, at po pwede din po siyang gamitin sa All-In natin. Okay, so if you'd want to find your kabarkada para makakuha ng less amount to pay, then you can also post that in your comment. Okay, comment lamang po yan. And of course, your classmates can see that and you can talk. I know in our previous live stream, a lot of them have already found their kabarkadas. Okay, so of course, the advantage of that is that you will have to pay just lesser amount if you enroll as barkada. Okay, so again, we continue with our ProfEd discussion today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Gurong Pinoy YT channel that's coming from Ma'am Tin Acabo. Okay, sa Team YouTube. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, react to our video. Please react to our video, start a watch party, tag your friends. Okay, good evening sa lahat-lahat. All right, we start with question number 1. A mathematics test was given to all grade 5 pupils to determine the contestants for the Math Quiz B. Which statistical measure should be used to identify the top 15? Is it letter A, mean score, letter B, percentile rank, letter C, quartile deviation, or letter D, percentage score? What's your answer? Sir Vincent Tabarangao Hermoso, BPS, maraming salamat for your positive feedback here on Facebook. Good evening po, ma'am. Dami ko na pong na-download ibang playlist discussion nyo. Dami ko pong natutunan. Galing nyo po mag-discuss. Sobrang clear po. Maraming salamat po, Sir Vincent. Ma'am Ashil, please do send a message through Gurong Pinoy's Facebook page. Thank you so much to my top fan, Ma'am Karsuma Kasim Asan, for tagging your friends. Sir Usman Paporo Radia, good evening po. New student, welcome to Team Facebook, Sir Usman. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Joy Dairit, sa ating midwife for your pakape. Consistent na pakape. All right, now some of you are answering letter B, others letter D. What about Team Facebook? What's your answer? I cannot see Team Facebook's answer again. I have to log out of Facebook again to see your answer. Nag-glitch lagi yung ating Facebook. Okay, let me check. All right, what's the answer of Team Facebook? All right, now karamihan sa inyo dito letter B. Letter B karamihan ng sagot ng Team Facebook. And of course, the correct answer here would be Letter B. Tama yung letter B dahil ranking yung hinahanap natin, okay? Of course, for us to identify the top 15, this is also used in your LET. What you do is you need to do your percentile ranking. Remember, percentile ranking is one of the ways that you can get the norm of your students, okay? When you say norm reference testing or norm reference assessment, of course, you are comparing the results of a certain student with that of the entire class, okay? So you get the percentile rank para makita mo kung sino yung nasa top 15. Mean score is just the average. Percentage score is just the percentage of a certain student's score, no? So i-divide mo lamang yung kanyang score with the total number of items multiplied by 100. That would be your percentage score. Quartile deviation naman, this is used for as measure for dispersion or deviation. So what you do here is you divide your student scores into 4. No, you divide mo yung students mo into 4 groups. You have 4 quartiles, of course, and then for you to get your quartile deviation, you subtract Q1. Okay, so the formula would be Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. Okay, so that's your quartile deviation. This is a measure of dispersion. Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. But of course, the correct answer here would be letter B, percentile rank. Okay, now we go to number 2. The table shows that the test item is analyzed. Now you have item number 1. The correct answer is B. You have the different groups. She has divided or the different groups here. The upper 27%, lower 27%, and you have the choices A, B, C, and D. The correct answer again is letter B. Now, what does this show about the item analyzed? What do you think is the answer for number 2? What's your answer for number 2? Ano po yung sagot nyo for number 2? Team Facebook and Team YouTube? Okay, so Sir TJ Abarquestante sa YouTube ay nandito sa Facebook. Thank you po for sharing our video, Sir Jason Tante. Okay, what's your answer for number 2? A lot of you are answering letter A dito sa Team YouTube. Halos lahat letter A. Okay, what about the rest of you? Our Team Facebook. Hello sa mga top fans natin, Ma'am Loyaline Bancalida Kipel, Ma'am Athena de Guzman. Good evening po. First timer, Team Facebook, paki-welcome naman si Ma'am Karen Saki. Good evening po. Top fans, Sir Richard Angeles. Good evening. Okay, now many of you are answering B, others letter A. Okay, also so many on YouTube are answering letter A. The correct answer here, of course, would be letter A. It has a positive discrimination. When you say positive discrimination and negative discrimination, the difference here is that when you say positive discrimination index, more from the upper group got the item correctly. Okay, so more from the upper group got the correct item. So that is really correct in our table here. No, mas malaki, mas marami from the upper group got the correct item. That's 11. Sa lower group mo, 5 lamang. Now, if they switch, kung 5 dito sa upper group mo, 11 dito sa lower group mo, then that would be negative discrimination index. But in this case here, that's positive discrimination index. There is nothing that would tell us that this is an extremely easy or extremely difficult item. No? So we cannot say that. We are not shown the difficulty index. And so number 2, letter A, is our correct answer. Now we go to number 3. Number 3, people. Number 3 po, good evening, newbie. Thank you so much for starting a watch party. Miss I, and she said she's a quiet follower ng YouTube. Maraming salamat po. Okay, now number 3, based on the same table from number 2, which is the most effective distractor? Is it letter A, option A, letter B, option B, letter C, option C, or letter D, option D? What's your answer for number 3? What is your answer for item number 3? We're looking for the most effective distractor. Good evening, first timer, Ma'am Evelyn Mag-aso Bayhonan. Maraming salamat po. And good evening. Welcome po. Now, a lot of you are answering letter A. Okay, let's take a look at our correct answer. The correct answer here, of course, is letter A. That is our most effective distractor. Bakit letter A? Dahil next to letter B, next to the correct answer, which is letter B, many students also answered letter A. So that means that is the most plausible distractor. Siya yung distractor, siya yung mali, nakapani-paniwala. Parang siya, di ba? Yung ex mo, mali siya. Siya yung mali mong choice, nakapani-paniwala. Akala mo siya na talaga yung forever mo, yun pala hindi pa, no? Niloko ka lang niya. Okay? So when you say distractor, this is maling paniniwala, no? This is a wrong choice, but it is plausible. Meaning, kapani-paniwala kasi siya, no? Almost, you'd almost think that that is a correct answer, but actually, nililin lang ka lamang niya. So that is our distractor. And so in this case, the correct answer is letter A, okay? As you can see, 14 people chose it. The correct answer is letter B. Although 16 people chose this, the most effective of all the distractors as compared to your C and D would be letter A. Of course, we cannot choose letter B because that is not a distractor. That is the correct answer, okay? So letter A po ang tamang sagot for number 3. Now we go to number 4. Teacher Carla discarded an item. What does it imply about the test item? Is it letter A? The mean score is relatively low. Letter B, half of the class got the item correctly. Letter C, more from the lower group got the correct answer. Or letter D, the distractors of the item are plausible and attractive. What's the answer? Okay, Ma'am Eunice Carbajal, na-miss ka namin. Sabi ni Ma'am Eunice dito sa YouTube, huwag kasi agad maniwala. Kailangan pag-isipan muna lahat ng mabuti. Hugot, sabi ni Ma'am Zen Ahil. Oo, nakaka-relate kasi kayo, no, pag humuhugot. Good evening sa ating top fan, Sir Adolfo Pimentel Mari. Good evening. Ngayon lang daw siya nakapag-online. Ang hina daw ng signal from Ipil, Zamboanga, Sibugay. Good evening po and thank you for starting a watch party. Good evening, first timer, pero marami na po ako napanood video sa YouTube. Ang linaw po ng paliwanag. Thanks po. Thank you for your positive comment, Ma'am Nelvi Racelis Alegria. Welcome sa Team Facebook. Again, for you to follow us, no, to know our schedule, make sure that you follow us on Facebook. Diyan po yung mga updates natin. We are also posting our schedules there on Facebook. Now, a lot of you here are answering sa Team YouTube. A lot of you are answering letter C. More from the lower group got the correct answer. What about here on Team Facebook? Okay, meron din mga letter C. Meron din iba na letter D yung sagot. Ma'am Jennifer Mangunlay, top fan. Maraming salamat po. Ma'am Ipumea Mercy, good evening po. Top fan. Ma'am Hazel, top fan din. At si Ma'am Jeneline Abuel Alejandria. Good evening po. Okay, now, again here, we have Teacher Carla, and she has discarded an item. Tinapon niya yung item, nireject niya yung item. Why kaya? Ano kaya yung reason niya? Of course, the correct answer here would be letter C. More from the lower group got the correct answer. When we say lower group here, ito yung mga students natin that would need help, no? Yung medyo mahihina. So, mas marami pa sa mga syunga, yung mga nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Okay? So, that's why Teacher Carla has to reject the item. That means there is something wrong, there's a defect in the item, no? Bakit yung mga matatalino, hindi nila makuha yung tamang sagot na yon, pero yung mga medyo mahihina, nakukuha nila yung sagot for that item. And so she rejected that item. Hindi dahil the mean score is relatively low, hindi dahil half of the class got the item correctly. If half of the class got the item correctly, or more than half nga, that would be better, no? If everyone got the item correctly, that would be better. But of course, that would may tell you that the test item is very easy. Letter D naman, the distractors of the item are plausible and attractive. This should be done whenever we are making our tests. Dapat naman talaga yung distractors are plausible and attractive para mahirapan yung estudyante, no? Mas mahirap pag halos lahat ay tamang sagot. Parang sa civil service na exam, ganyan po yung nangyayari. The distractors are plausible and attractive. But of course, the correct answer here would be letter C. Yan po yung tamang sagot. Now we go to number 5. What is the main defect of this matching test? You have column A for your STEM. Then of course, you have your choices here, your options on column B. Okay, then your choices are here at the bottom. Letter A, the matching type has equal numbers of STEM and alternative or options. Letter B, the answers of an obvious pattern. Letter C, the items are not homogeneous. Or letter D, the items are quite easy. What's your answer for number 5? Maraming salamat, Ma'am Athena de Guzman, our top fan. Sabi ni Ma'am Athena, na marathon ko na din kahapon yung science snippets. 29 vids. Lahat po yan lumalabas sa LET. So again, make sure that you watch all our videos. Good evening, Ma'am Meg, top fan, Ma'am LV Alasan, watching from Tablon, CDO. Late na, medyo late lang, Ma'am. Good evening sa ating top notcher, Hamid Review, si Sir Algin Sabak. I hope na okay na po yung nasa hospital, sir. Sir Nimuel Nakayama Isuke, good evening po. Medyo late na si Ma'am Montiza Dapikilia. Second timer yata si Ma'am Montiza. Maraming salamat for coming back. Number 5 pa lamang po tayo. Okay, now again for number 5 here, what is the main defect of this matching test? You have your STEM there for column A. Then of course, you have your alternatives, your choices on column B. Now, kung inyo po nakikita, yung ating STEM dito, meron kang equivalent triangle, right triangle, octagon, pentagon, heptagon, and poly. And then, of course, you have your alternatives here. Now, choice A mo, marami sa inyo, choice A yung sagot. Dito sa ating Team Facebook, ganun din. Choice A din yung sagot nyo. The matching types has equal numbers of STEM and alternative. Now, many of the teachers, whenever they're making their matching type test, no, para lessen confusion ng students, hindi masyadong mahirap sa students, equal number ng STEM and alternatives yung ginagawa. That is also okay, pero yung effective test making, no, test construction, is that you make more options, you make more alternatives. So, tama din ito. Tama din naman ito, but that is not our answer, okay? Tama din siya, but that is not the correct answer here. This is not the best option here. Kasi, pwede din naman na ganyan lang, okay? I know we have answered several matching type tests na ganito lang naman, no? Equal yung number ng ating alternative and ating STEM. Letter B naman, the answers of an obvious pattern. Wala po siyang obvious pattern dyan. Letter C, the items are not homogeneous or hindi pare-pareho yung tema, yung topic ng iyong items. Or letter D, the items are quite easy. The correct answer here would be letter C. Whenever you are making your matching type test, dapat homogeneous yung inyong items. Hindi dapat rumble. Hindi po pwedeng merong kang types of clouds, tapos meron kang weather instruments, tapos meron kang seasons, hindi po pwedeng rumble. Kung meron kang gustong idagdag, for example, gusto mo mag-matching type ng seasons, gusto mo mag-matching type ng weather instruments, dapat separate yung inyong matching type test. Hindi po pwedeng nakarumble lahat ng inyong mga items, no? So the items here are not homogeneous. Hindi siya iisang topic lamang, which makes it difficult for the students, okay? So this is not correct in test construction, no? Test construction natin, hindi po pwede, hindi siya acceptable that the items are not homogeneous. So that is the correct answer, letter C. Now we go to number 6, which should be done to improve this matching test. We are still talking about the same matching test. Is it letter A, drop item number 6 in column A? Should we drop this one? So poly. Letter B, all items should be on types of polygons. Letter C, increase the number of items in column B. Or letter D, remove the word triangle in items 1 and 2 in column A. Okay, so we have Ma'am Zinaida Asombrado. Hello po, Coach Mac. Good evening. I am a new member. Napakasarap makinig sa inyo because you explain all the subjects well. Ang galing-galing niyo po. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Zinaida Asombrado. Welcome po sa Team YouTube. Sayang pawala-wala yung net ko. Kapit lang po. Sir Usman Naradia on Team YouTube. Okay, what's your answer here? Good evening po, Ma'am Ferlin Mole. Many of you are answering my B, my C, my A. Karamihan dito sa ating Team Facebook, their answer is letter B. Okay, sa ating YouTube, Team YouTube, sari-sari yung sagot. May A, B, may C, may D. The correct answer here would be, of course, letter B. All items should be on types of polygon. Naalala nyo yung ating item number 5. Item number 5 is the answer there in item number 5. Our matching type test is not homogeneous. Hindi siya homogeneous. And so, for us to improve this, we should have letter B. All items should be on types of polygons. Dapat isang topic lamang siya. Okay? So, number 6 should be letter B. Letter B. Tama po yung letter B nyo. Okay? So, letter B is the correct answer for number 6. Now, we go to number 7. Which type of tests is most appropriate if Teacher Alisa wants to measure students' ability to recall factual information? Is it letter A, limited response essay? Letter B, short answer type of test? Letter C, extended response essay? Or letter D, modified alternative response? Okay, what's your answer for number 7? Number 7 na po tayo. Again, if you're still looking for your kabarkada sa inyong majorship, sa inyong Grow, Gen Ed, ProfEd, or it might be kabarkada for all-in, mag-comment lamang po kayo na maghanap kayo ng inyong kabarkada. Sabihin nyo kung anong inyong major, kung gusto nyo gamitin yung kabarkada or barkada promo sa inyong majorship, ay mag-comment po kayo kung anong major nyo at maghanap kayo ng ka-major nyo dyan para po makaless kayo sa inyong payment if you'd want to join in our majorship review. Okay, pupwede din po siya sa Grow, sa Gen Ed ProfEd, pupwede din po siya sa ating all-in. So maghanap po kayo ng inyong friends, i-comment lamang po na naghahanap kayo ng inyong kabarkada. I know yung mga Filipino major natin dito nakahanap ng kabarkada nila sa Team YouTube last live stream. Okay, now, many of you are answering letter B. Okay, some are answering letter C dito sa Team YouTube. And dito sa Team Facebook, karamihan is letter B din. Ma'am Rizel Olila, thank you po for sharing our video. The correct answer here, of course, would be letter B. Tama yung letter B. Short answer type of test. That means your identification, okay? Identification, fill in the blanks, no? Fill in the blanks or naming lang. So identification, simple recall. Because you are just looking for the recall of factual information. You can't use limited response. Wag mo na silang ipag-essay, no? So hindi po pwede itong A and C dahil pareho silang essay. Yung modified alternative response mo, this is modified true or false. So write true if the sentence is true, and if false, change the underlined terms, for example, to make the sentence correct. Yan yung modified alternative response mo. But there, the correct answer would be letter B. You're just looking for the recall of factual information. Letter B po ang tamang sagot. Short answer type of test. Now we go to number 8. Preschool children tend to focus all their attention on a single characteristic compared to the others. This is letter A, centration, letter B, egocentration, letter C, egocentrism, or letter D, conservation. Ay nako, ang hina ng signal, sabi ni Sir GR Lintogonan. Kapit lamang po, Sir GR. Okay, si Ma'am Dali Takardon. Science, Biosci, looking po, she's looking for her kabarkada. Ipipin ko yung comment ni Ma'am Dali. Ayan po, nakapin po yung comment ni Ma'am Dali. Sa mga biosci dyan na hindi pa nakakapag-enroll, you contact Ma'am Dali para makapag-form po kayo ng barkada nyo, kabarkada nyo. Sir Adolfo Pimentel Mari, Ma'am Mek, ba't hindi na po naka-notification na online po kayo ngayon? I'm not sure po if you see that there's pag merong question dyan na would you like to be notified when Guru Pinoy starts something online or goes live stream or goes live, then you click that po. Or you follow our Facebook page. So usually naman we would make an announcement prior to our online, prior to the live stream. Ma'am Zenaida Asombrado on YouTube has a question. Ma'am Mek, ask ko lang po if what are the requirements on March 2021 LET exam? September po, sana exam ko last September 2020, kaya lang po pandemic. Pwede po kaya ako mag-exam on September na lang po. If that happens, if that's the case po ma'am, I am assuming that you have a NOAA for September 2020. Tama po ba ma'am? Tapos of course, a March 2021 na let would be for those people who already have approved applications for March 2020 and September 2020. So kung ayaw niyo po mag-exam ng March 2021, you might have to contact PRC po ma'am. Sabihin niyo po sa kanila at magtanong na din po kayo kung ano po yung gagawin. Pa-shout out sa mga Filipino major. Ayan, baka naghahanap kayo ng kabarkada dito sa Team YouTube. Si Ma'am Eunice Carvajal ay Filipino major. Si Sir Montasser Matabalaw, Filipino major. Ma'am Evelyn Bayhonan dito sa YouTube. Naghahanap ng Gen Ed ProfEd kabarkada. Mag-comment kayo. Or just talk to each other, give each other your details. Again, si Ma'am Dalita Cardon ay naghahanap po ng Bayusay kabarkada. Okay, now what do you think is the correct answer here? We're looking for the concept. Preschool children tend to focus all their attention on a single characteristic compared to the others. The correct answer here would be letter A, centration. Centration here is the correct answer. Sa muli, centration po ang ating tamang sagot, hindi po egocentration, hindi po egocentrism, at hindi din po conservation. Now, let's take a look at this, okay? This next slide. Ito yung tinatawag nating centration. Yung anak mo ay nakafocus lamang sa isang bahagi, no? Isang characteristic ng isang bagay. So, you have a child here, no? This is based on Piaget's cognitive development theory. Remember, si Piaget, he had given us four levels, no? Meron kang smart people cook fish. Smart people cook fish. That means sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. Now, when you still have centration, nasa pre-operational stage pa lamang yung bata dito. Yung pre-operational stage is a very enjoyable stage. This usually would happen when the child is still a toddler, no? Ito yung time na nag-i-imagine tayo, sumusuot ka ng kumot, ini-imagine mo na ikaw ay Reyna, or sometimes ini-imagine mo na ikaw si Superman, no? You would talk with the fan, the door, no? Yung mga inanimate objects, no? Meron kang napaka-rich ng ating imagination during the pre-operational stage. Now, one of the characteristics of a child during this stage is centration. So again, sabi nga natin sa centration, the focus of the child is only on one of the characteristics of an object. So here, in this test, when the child is shown two equal amounts of water in the same glasses, no? The child can see that they have equal amounts of water indeed. Now, if one of the contents of the glass is transferred to your graduated cylinder, and of course we know that your graduated cylinder is slimmer, it's narrower, and taller, but of course we know that the amount of water should still be equal. The child, when the child was asked which among these two have more water, the child would say that this graduated cylinder has more water than this wide mouth beaker, no? Than this beaker natin na wide mouth siya. And so we know na nakafocus lamang yung bata sa isang characteristic ng inyong glass, sa isang characteristic ng graduated cylinder. He is just focused on, or she is just focused on the height of our graduated cylinder. So he's thinking that this has more water inside, but actually equal amount yung water nila. Now, if your child, for example, can say that they both have equal amounts of water, then you know na nasa concrete operational na yung bata. Pag pre-operational, the child still doesn't know na equal yung amount of water nila because the child is again focused the attention on one characteristic lamang ng inyong bagay. And so that is centration. This would be centration. Now, yung egocentrism mo naman, we all know what egocentrism is. The child is very selfish. The child thinks that whatever it is that he sees, everyone around him can also see the same. Okay, so this was Piaget's 3 mountains egocentrism test. Piaget asked the child, draw how the mountains would look from the doll's point of view. Now, from the point of view of the child can only see one mountain. Isang mountain lamang yung nakikita niya. From the point of the doll here, he can actually see 3 mountains. But when Piaget checked the work of the child only has drawn one mountain. Okay? So isang mountain lamang, isang bukid lamang yung dinrawing ng child because he thinks that whatever it is that he can see, it is also the same thing that other people around him can see. That is egocentrism. Very selfish yung bata. Now, so the correct answer there would be centration. Centration po yung tamang sagot. Now, yung conservation mo, no, isa sa mga choices mo dito. Conservation mo is also sometimes called decentration. So that's the opposite na of your centration. Sa conservation, alam na ng bata na kahit na yung nakarolyo, no, nakaball na clay ay feel natin, pwede pa siyang maibalik sa dating nakarolyo na form ng clay, okay? So that would be conservation. But of course, our answer would be centration. Centration po yung tamang sagot doon. All right, now we go to number 9, which theory calls for adaptation to the learner's biological and developmental set of characteristics. Is it letter A, multiple intelligences theory, letter B, emotional intelligences or intelligence theory, letter C, experiential learning theory, or letter D, reading readiness theory? What's your answer for number 9? Okay, so mga naghahanap dyan ng kabarkada, Ma'am Evelyn Bayhonan on YouTube, looking for kabarkada for Gen Ed ProfEd. Sir Edelberto on YouTube, Cavalida, Edelberto Cavalida, looking for kabarkada for Soksai. Ma'am Chari Benban on YouTube, Ma'am Mek, magkano bayad sa Gen Ed ProfEd? Kabarkada po. You need to have 4 members, so 4 na members. No, so instead of paying 2,000 for 4 of you, you're only going to pay 1,500. So you divide 1,500 out of 4, or divided by 4. Oh, yan, sir. Nasaan na yung soksay natin kanina? Sir Edelberto Cavalida, meron ka pong kasoksay dito si Ma'am Chona Raot. O, maghanap pa po kayo ng dalawa. Okay, maghanap pa po kayo ng inyong kabarkada. Sir Ralph Joseph Empanado, hi ma'am, pwede pa po ba ako mag-enroll sa 3-in-1? Gen Ed ProfEd and Majorship, naka-enroll na po ako sa Majorship Bio. So all you need to do po, Sir Ralph, ay mag-enroll na lamang po kayo sa Gen Ed ProfEd. Sa Grow na lang po kayo magpapa-enroll, sir. So your Grow po is 500 na lang po. Mag-send po kayo ng message sa ating Facebook page. Okay, English. Ito, may English din naghahanap. Ang daming English naghahanap dito sa inyong Facebook. Maghanap po kayo. Ayan, si Ma'am Oni Olaso Coranes, English. Si Ma'am Faid Sabantaz, English. Si Sir Nelson Ataban, English din. Ma'am Ferlin, 4 na kayo. Sa English, Ma'am Ferlin Duan Mole, Sir Nelson Ataban, si Ma'am Faid Sabantaz, at si Ma'am Oni Olaso Coranes. Contact each other para po makapag-enroll kayo as barkada. Okay, Sir Nelson. All right, going back to our topic here. Ma'am Erich Apostol, saglit lamang po. On YouTube, she has a question. Ma'am, kahit ba kasali na sa Grow, need pa rin ng kabarkada? Hindi po, ma'am. Yung mga naghahanap po ng kabarkada, of course, they are still not enrolled and they'd want to avail of a lesser amount. Kaya meron tayong kabarkada. Okay, which theory calls for adaptation to the learner's biological developmental set of characteristics? The correct answer here would be letter A. This is multiple intelligences theory. Dapat may adaptation tayo kung ano yung characteristic ng bata, no? So iba-ibang klase po nung estudyante meron tayo. Remember, we always say there's different types of students. They have individual differences, no? So that's why dapat may adaptation ka as a teacher. Hindi po pwedeng nasa linguistic lang yung focus mo. Hindi pwedeng poem lang lagi or reading lang lagi, no? Because we have different types of intelligences nga according to Howard Gardner. So dapat meron kang adaptation, meron kang binibigay na skills or meron kang binibigay na materials and activities for the various types of intelligences that we have. Hindi po emotional intelligence theory, hindi din experiential learning. Experiential learning is hands-on learning. Okay, this is hands-on learning. So you let them explore, you let them do things. But here we're looking for adaptation to the learner's biological developmental set, no, iba-ibang characteristics. And so letter A, multiple intelligences theory is the correct answer. Hindi din po reading readiness. Reading readiness is only, of course, for reading. Now, according to Howard Gardner, remember Howard Gardner has given us 8 different intelligences, no? So dito sa ating screen, 8 lamang, but of course he has given us 9 total, no? Isa-isahin ko muna itong 8. When you say naturalistic, if someone has a natural intelligence, that means he loves animals, he loves plants, yung mga plantitos, plantitas, dito po kayo sa naturalistic. You are the green thumbs, no? So you become biologist, conservationist, no? Yan yung naturalistic natin. Linguistic naman, they excel in words, languages, or poets, or writers, or storytellers, yung mga makakata natin, no? Sir Kersonianan, for example. So linguist siya, linguistic. Visual spatial, excels in shapes, designs, graphics, visualization. These are designers, engineers. So mga engineer natin, visual spatial intelligence meron sila. Musical, excels in performing and composing musical pieces, singer, musical composer. Okay, so mga MAPI major natin, musical intelligence sila. Interpersonal and intrapersonal, these are different because when you say intrapersonal, you have the ability to understand your own feelings. So usually mga philosopher ito, ang mga clergy, yung mga madre natin, may mga sisters tayo dito na mga classmates nyo, no? They have intrapersonal intelligence. Meron ka naman na interpersonal intelligence, the ability to organize people, group activities, social relationships, you become leaders, you become social workers. So ito yung mga social. Okay, so mga social. Social in the term na in essence na gusto nila maraming tao palagi, no? So they like socializing. Those are your people with interpersonal intelligence. Now, of course, you have your logical, mathematical intelligence mo. They excel in math, logical thinkers. These are your bankers and your accountants. Kinesthetic mo naman, they excel in performing sports, physical activities, body movements. So these are your actors and your athletes. Now, again, the 9th intelligence as given by Gardner is your existential. So existential naman, ito yung mga taong nagtatanong, why do we exist? Why do I exist? What is the meaning of my life? What is my purpose on earth? No, ito yung mga taong ganun. Yung mga malalalim mag-isip, that's your existential, no, existential intelligent people. All right? So these are multiple intelligences, of course, by Howard Gardner. So our answer there was multiple intelligences po. Now we go to number 10. Parents who are observed to be caring but unmindful of their children's manners at home are considered letter A, authoritarian, letter B, authoritative, letter C, permissive, letter D, rejecting and neglecting. What's the answer? Aba, may pahugot dito, Sir Alvi. Sa YouTube, the past is your lesson, the present is your gift, and the future is your motivation. Makahugot wagas. Oh, maraming mali. Ma'am Morgan, Pahoyo. Marami akong mali nito na quiz. Okay, what's your answer for number 10? Letter C, karamihan dito? O may letter A din? Mamorzada, Pedring Usman, nakapin po yung comment niya dito sa ating Facebook. She's looking for Gen Ed, ProfEd na kabarkada. She's looking for Grow na kabarkada. Medyo na late na si Ma'am Hailey Jane Ramos Thomas. Thank you po for starting a watch party. Eto, Gen Ed, ProfEd looking for kabarkada. Ayan na, may nag-reply na sa'yo, Ma'am Morzada. Ayan din, sa Ma'am Hazel din. Mag-reply kayo kay Ma'am Morzada para alam niya or ilista nyo yung mga pangalan para mamaya kontakin nyo na lang po sa Facebook page nila or sa Facebook accounts nila. English din si Ma'am Rhea Regine. Malabote, si Mami ko, English major din po. Maghanap kayo ng mga kabarkada nyo dyan. Our majorship po, Sir Nelson Ataban, our majorship is 850 until the end of this year. 1,000 po yung regular payment, 850 lamang po until the end of this year. And of course, if you can get kabarkada, it might be less than that. Ayan, Sir Nelson Ataban, looking for English major. I've already, kanina po na-mention ko yung mga pangalan ng mga English major. Maghanap po kayo. Okay, no, number 10. Parents who are observed to be caring but unmindful of their children's manners at home are considered letter A, authoritarian, letter B, authoritative, letter C, permissive, or letter D, rejecting and neglecting. The correct answer here would be letter C, permissive. Wala kang pakialam, wala kang rules. No? Sige lang, hinahayaan mo lang yung mga anak mo. Okay, now we have 4 types of parenting styles. Maaaring yung mga parents na din, katulad ko, no? Nandito ng mga classmates nyo na parents na din, makaka-relate kayo dito. We have 4 types of parenting styles. This would depend on the expectations of the parents and also emotions. Now, out of these 4, yung mataas yung expectation natin sa mga anak natin, this would be your authoritarian and your authoritative. Okay? So pareho po silang mataas yung expectations sa ating mga anak, no? May disiplina, meron tayong disiplina sa ating anak, sinasabi natin lagi, dapat yung future mo ganito, mag-aral mabuti, no? So this is your authoritarian and your authoritative. Now, meron lamang silang pagkakaiba in terms of emotions. Yung authoritarian mo, they focus on obedience and punishment over discipline. Ito yung may high expectation pero walang emotional na binibigay, no, emotional support sa bata. Yung authoritative mo naman, there's high expectation, there's also a lot of emotional support. Okay, so this creates positive relationship, it enforces rules, but of course, this person here, this parent here, would explain the rules. Bakit merong ganito, anak? Bakit merong ganito? Napaka-caring ng nanay, but of course, she also has very high expectations. Yan po ang pagkakaiba ng ating authoritative and authoritarian. Lumalabas din po ito sa LET. Merong isang, if you are a parent and you'd want your child to always follow your rules very strictly, even if the child does not understand the rules, your answer there would be authoritarian. Now remember, both of them have high expectations at yung hint kong binibigay dito lagi is bad si Aryan. Bad si Aryan. Yung authoritarian mo, ito yung bad na side ng pagkakaroon ng mataas na demands, no? Authoritarian is negative, authoritative is positive. Okay, so yan po yung inyong tandaan, bad si Aryan. Now, as for your permissive and uninvolved, these two have very low expectations of their child. Walang pakialam. Okay lang, kahit hindi ka mag-aral, sige, maglaro ka lang dyan, no? I'm allowing you to just play, whatever. Now, in terms of emotions naman, yung iyong permissive ay meron siyang involvement pa ng kahit papaano, meron pa siyang involvement ng emotions. No, mahal niya yung mga anak niya. Uninvolved naman, wala talagang pakialam, no. So neglectful. They would ignore their child, their kid na. And so the correct answer there for our question be permissive, no. Wala siyang rules, inaalaw lang niya yung anak niya. Sige lang, maglaro ka lang anak. I love you, and so kids will be kids. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, so permissive there would be our correct answer. Now we go to the next question. Cheche came to class without her assignment. When asked why, she answered, I have no one to ask for help. My parents leave for office very early in the morning and come past midnight when I am asleep already. As her teacher, what can you do? Letter A, write Cheche's parents about their responsibilities in helping her with school. Letter B, warn the parents that the child will fail if unaided. Letter C, meet her parents and discuss how home and school can partner to assist Cheche. Or letter D, advise Cheche to talk to her parents for much needed help. Okay, what's the answer? Ano pong sagot nyo dyan? Sir Raymond Apostol Bulataw, naghahanap din ng kabarkada. Tingnan nyo po yung ating mga comment, tapos ilista nyo po yung mga pangalan ng mga ka-major nyo, yung mga gusto may kabarkada, and then you might have to form your group chat. Mag-group chat po kayo or whatever. Looking for kabarkada, TLE Major, Mamera Joy, Milo Bautista, thank you for starting a watch party. Wala po tayong TLE Major, Mamera Joy. Materials lamang po ang may ibibigay sa inyo. Si Ma'am Dazzling Flower, ayan din, pa-join sa kabarkada, Gen Ed and ProfEd. Ayan, English major, Sir Nelson Ataba, naghahanap ng kabarkada. Meron na ako nakitang English kanina, ang dami nyo kaninang English. Ilista nyo po yung pangalan nyo para makapag-form kayo ng group nyo. Ayun, English, si Mami ko. Si Ma'am Rhea Regine Alayaay Malabote, English din. Si Ma'am Oni Olaso Coranes. Maghanap po kayo ng inyong mga ka-English. Eto, ipopost ko yung comment ni Sir Nelson ba yun? Sir Nelson Ataban. Ipipin ko yung comment ni Sir Nelson. Ayan po, mag-usap kayo. Okay, what's the answer there? Letter C. Letter C ba yung inyong sagot? Dito sa Team Facebook, what is your answer? Letter C. Karamihan sa inyo dito, letter C, yung inyong sagot. And of course, that would be the correct answer. Meet her parents and discuss how home and school can partner to assist Cheche. Now, we all know that schools and home should be partners in the education of your child. Hindi po pwedeng iwanan mo lamang sa school yung inyong child, no? Dito sa Amerika, especially, may pananagutan talaga yung mga parents. Hindi po pwedeng absent sila ng absent sa isang SEM, ay allowed lamang sila to be absent for 5 days, no? Pag masyadong maraming absent yung bata, pinapapunta pa sa korte yung nanay kasi naman libre sila sa lahat, no? Meron silang school bus, meron silang libreng pagkain sa school, no? May breakfast, may lunch. So walang rason para hindi makapag-aral yung bata. And many of the child here or many of the kids here would want to be in school than at home, no? Minsan kasi magulo yung bahay nila. So mas gusto nila nasa school sila. So letter C is the correct answer here. The school and the home should become partners. Number 12, research findings show that students' motivation may vary according to socio-economic background. Which observation can attest to this? Is it letter A, females are more likely than males to earn higher grades? Letter B, students from poor families have higher risks of dropping from school? Letter C, gifted students are more highly motivated? Letter D, more boys than girls become underachievers? What's your answer for number 12? Number 12? Ano po yung sagot niyo for number 12? Ayan na si Sir Nelson Ataban, naka-pin po yung kanyang comment, looking for English na kabarkada. Okay, so maghanap po kayo. Mag-comment po kayo kay Sir Nelson Ataban. Yung mga nakita ko kaninang English major. Mag-comment po kayo. Or contact Sir Nelson. Okay, what's your answer? What's your answer for number 12? A lot of you are answering letter B. Dito naman sa ating Team Facebook, letter B din yung sagot. Okay, letter B din yung sagot nyo, and that would be the correct answer. Our hint here are the terms socio-economic background. Yan lang naman yung nagpapakita ng socio-economic background sa ating choices, okay? And so we have no other choice but letter B. This one is female and male. This one is gifted student, no? So intelligence siya. This one, female and girl din. And so the correct answer there would be letter B. Number 13, which among the following rationale applies to the 2 extra years in the senior high school of the K-12 curriculum? 1, to ensure sufficient skills for mastery of concepts. Number 2, to develop students' entrepreneurial skills. Number 3, to promote lifelong learning. Or is it choice A, 1 only, letter B, 2 only, letter C, 1 and 2, letter D, 1, 2, and 3? What's your answer for number 13? Number 13 po, ano yung sagot nyo? Mamera Joy Milio Bautista, thank you for tagging your friends. Ma'am Alshid, saan po nakapost sa materials for TLE? Again, TLE, Agri and Fish, Values Education yata included din. Again, ito ay pamasko lamang sa inyo ng Gurong Pinoy, no? So you can find this. We are going to make your Google Classroom and we are going to be posting your materials there on Christmas Day. Dahil nga, this is our Christmas gift for all of you. So Christmas Day po. Wala pa po ngayon. Okay, a lot of you on Facebook are answering letter D. Again, sa ating mga English majors who are looking for kabarkada, Sir Nelson Ataban's comment is pinned. Mag-reply po kayo, mag-contact po kayo kay Sir Nelson. Team YouTube is also answering letter D, and that is the correct answer. All 3 are goals of your K-12. Okay, let's take a look at our slide. Okay, so these are the roles or the goals of our K-12 to strengthen early childhood education by having universal kindergarten. So dati hindi pa required yung kindergarten. Ngayon required na talaga sila to go through kindergarten. Making the curriculum relevant to the learners. So there's contextualization enhancement. Ginagawa ng malapit sa experience ng mga bata yung curriculum. Ensuring integrated and seamless learning. That's why we're using spiral progression. No? Spiral curriculum nga yung tawag. And so by this, we can acquire mastery. Building proficiency through language, mother tongue-based, multilingual education, yung MTB, MLE nyo. Gearing up for the future, no? Senior high school that's geared for the future. They already have your tech voc. They already have the skills they need to land a job. And of course, nurturing the holistically developed Filipino college and livelihood readiness and 21st century skills. Okay, and so the correct answer there is all 3 of them, to have mastery with students' entrepreneurial skills and lifelong learning. And so the correct answer again would be letter D, 1, 2, and 3. Now we go to number 14. What facet of understanding occurs when students are able to tell stories, narratives, and parables which enlighten, engage, and help them remember, focus on essentials, and make sense of life? Is it letter A, evaluation, letter B, interpretation, letter C, applicable or application, or letter D, perspective? What's the answer for 14? Mr. Lover, P. 2009. Ang bongga ng pangalan na. Parang ano si sir, parang DJ. Math major. They're looking for 2 more math major. Meron na po tayong Google Classroom for Filipino major, Ma'am Danica Zafra. Once you have enrolled po, you will be added to your Google Classroom. We have 2 people. Ayun, si Sir Joseph Caronan. Ayan, Sir Mr. Lover 2009. Ayun, math major din po siya. I hope kompleto na kayo, Sir Nelson Ataban. Kompleto na po ba? Okay, now going back to number 14 here. A lot of our students nandito sa team YouTube are answering letter B. Sa atin naman team Facebook, karamihan letter C. What facet of understanding occurs when students are able to tell stories, narratives, and parables which enlighten, engage, and help them remember, focus on essentials, and make sense of life. The correct answer here is letter B. That's interpretation. Okay, interpretation is the correct answer here. Okay, now let's take a look at your 6 facets of understanding. Again, this is still from Wiggins and McTighe. No? They use this when generating ideas for performance tasks. We can, or you truly understand, the student truly understands if the student can explain. That means he can generalize, he can connect, he can provide examples, he can interpret if he can tell accessible stories, he can provide dimension, he can apply. That means he can use what we know in real context. He has perspective. He see points of view through critical eyes. He see different points of view, no, different perspectives. Can empathize. That means he can walk in another's shoes. And of course, he has the self-knowledge. He has metacognitive awareness. He knows what he doesn't know yet. Okay, so these are the 6 facets of understanding according to Wiggins and McTighe. And so the correct answer there was interpretation. Letter B, interpretation ang tamang sagot. Now we go to number 15. You practice inclusive education. Which of these applies to you? 1, you accept every student as full and valued member of the class and school community. 2, your special attention is on learners with specific learning or social needs. 3, you address the needs of the class as a whole within the context of the learners with specific learning or social needs. Is it A, 2 only, letter B, 1 and 2, letter C, 1 only, letter D, 1 and 3? What's your answer? Sir Justin, Ma'am Justin May Centino, yes, meron pong GC yung math major. That is where we post their sets and also their discussion videos. Okay, sabi ni Sir Nelson Ataban, 2 pa lang po sila sa English major. Sino pa pong gusto sa English major? English major, nakapin po yung comment ni Sir Nelson dito po sa Facebook. Mag-contact po kayo sa kanya or mag-comment po kayo sa kanya, mag-reply para po makapag-form po kayo ng barkada. It should be 4 people. 4 people po. Ayun, may math major din dyan. Math major yata dito sa Team YouTube. Kompleto na yata kayo. Sir Mr. Lover. Ayan si Sir Joseph Caronan. Ayan din meron pang isa, Ma'am Jeanette Jane Milianes. Math major din. Okay, now what is your answer for number 15? Karamihan sa inyo, your sagot is, your answer is letter D. And that is the correct answer. Okay, so 1 and 3 only. We don't include number 2 here dahil sabi number 2, may special attention ka sa may specific learning or social needs. So remember, inclusive education, hindi lamang sila yung bibigyan mo ng special na attention. All of them should be included. So 1 and 3, you accept every student as full and valued member. And of course, you address the needs of the class as a whole within the context of the learners with specific learning or social needs. If there is a need to accommodate some of the students, then you do so. Okay, so that's letter D, 1 and 3. Okay, now we go to number 16. Which one explains curriculum alignment correctly? Teachers emphasize different learning experiences based on their skills and interests. Letter B, objectives match assessment. Letter C, objectives match instruction and assessment. Letter D, teachers plan activities in the context of learners, multiple intelligences, and varied learning styles. Okay, what's your answer? Sir Malvin Pimentel on YouTube. Hi po ma'am. Pwede na po kayo ma-download yung discussion sa math major. Hindi ko po kasi Okay, pwede na po ma-download, Sir Malvin. I've already posted a video format of set 1. And Dr. Enshaw has already sent the rest of the video. So naka-video na po in the following discussion nyo. Sir or Ma'am JMBM Arts, sabi dito sa YouTube, bakit po naghahanap kayo ng mga major? Sorry na late po ako. Naghahanap po sila ng kanilang kabarkada, kaparehong major, para magka-discount po sila. Okay? Ma'am Priscilla Llamas on YouTube. Ma'am, kailan ulit po ang discussion ng English? You have your majorship schedule po. Nasa Google Classroom nyo din po, ma'am. I-scroll nyo doon po. Nandun po yung inyong schedule. Ayun, kompleto na yata, Sir Nelson. Paano po sumali sa Grow, Ma'am Jasmine Comigad Ponciano? Mag-send po kayo ng message sa ating Facebook page. This same page po. Okay, now a lot of you here on Team Facebook are answering letter D. Ganon din sa ating YouTube. Your answer is letter D. Okay? And what about the rest of you? My C, my D. So again, we go back to your question. Which one explains curriculum alignment? We're looking for alignment correctly. The correct answer here would be letter C. Your objective should match your instruction and also your assessment. Letter C is the correct answer, hindi po D. Ano sabi ng D? Teachers plan activities in the context of learners, multiple intelligences lamang dito, and learning styles, papasok po siya sa instruction lamang. Okay, this can be found under instruction. But the correct answer here, for you to know and for you to be sure that curriculum is aligned correctly, the objective should be the same, no? Should match your instruction and should also match your assessment. Ito yung nangyayari when we were just having our practice teaching, no? Paulit-ulit tayong gumagawa ng lesson plan natin dahil kino-cross out ng ating supervisor, sinasabi your objective does not match your instruction, does not match your assessment, no? Walang cohesion. So dapat silang tatlo, natuhog silang tatlo, yung objectives, instruction, assessment should be the same. Okay, so letter C ang tamang sagot dito. Now, number 17, if curriculum is designed following the traditional approach, which feature or features apply? The aims of the curriculum are set by professionals and experts. Number 2, interested groups, teachers, students, communities meet to agree with the aims of the curriculum. Number 3, consensus building is not necessary. Is it A, 3 only? Letter B, 1, 2, and 3. Letter C, 1 and 2. Or letter D, 1 and 3. What's your answer for 17? We're almost done. Lahat po ng Ma'am Christine Joy Gorospe, lahat po ng materials nyo makikita po sa inyong Google Classroom. Ma'am or Sir JMBM Arts, thank you ma'am. May mga ganitong live discussion pala sa YouTube. Salamat po, very helpful to sa amin. Yes, go back to our live stream po. Meron po kaming playlist na live stream. More than 60 videos na po meron tayo doon. Ma'am Evelyn Bayhonan, meron po tayong group, Facebook group po yung Grow, yan po yung Gen Ed ProfEd group natin. Okay, now thank you so much for starting a watch party sa ating mga ka-Facebook. A lot of you here are answering letter C for this item. Now, remember, sabi dito is traditional approach. Okay? Traditional approach ang tawag dito. If curriculum is designed following the traditional approach, which feature or features apply? Your correct answer here would be letter D, 1 and 3 only. Wala masyadong number 2, hindi ginagawa yung number 2 sa ating traditional, okay? The aims of the curriculum are set by professionals and experts. There is no need for consensus building, okay? Consensus building is not necessary. Hindi masyadong sinasangguni yung ibang stockholders, no? Yung ibang stockholders ng ating or yung ibang stakeholders, I mean, sa ating curriculum or sa ating education. It is only the professionals, only the experts, and of course, the teachers, the schools that would do all the planning. That's traditional approach. Huwag pong kalimutan yung question natin dito, sabi traditional approach. Hindi gaya ng mga approaches ngayon, no, progressive ng approaches sa education, lahat na may say, lahat ng stakeholders na may say. Okay, so that's letter D, numbers 1 and 3 only. For number 17, D po yung tamang sagot. Hindi po letter C. Karamihan sa inyo, letter C yung sagot. Now we go to number 18. What is a possible effect of an overcrowded curriculum? What will be the effect of an overcrowded curriculum? Pag sobrang dami ng topics mo sa isang curriculum, what is a possible effect? Is it letter A, in-depth learning tends to be given greater emphasis? Letter B, greater concept understanding? Letter C, lifelong learning skills tend to be fully developed? Or letter D, lack of personal analysis and reflection on major concepts? What's your answer for 18? Oh, isa na lang daw yung kulang, lalarga na yung kabarkada ng English. Kabarkada English, isa na lamang po yung kulang, sabi ni Sir Nelson. Ma'am Oni, nakapag-contact ka po ba sa kanila? Kabarkada sa English. Ma'am Oni, Olaso Coranes yata, English major din siya. Isa pa po kulang nila. Nakapit po yung comment ni Sir Nelson. Because if you are going to enroll as kabarkada, I think you'll save 200 plus. May extra 200 plus na savings pa kayo. Diba? 850 yung promo natin until the end of this month. And then you still have a cut of 200 plus. So nasa 600 plus na lamang. Again, they're still looking for one member for English sa kabarkada. Nakapin po yung comment ni Sir Nelson. Okay, a lot of you are answering letter D. Okay, letter D. And of course, that will be the correct answer. The lack of personal analysis and reflection on major concepts. No? Wala masyadong reflection, wala masyadong mastery, no? Dahil lumilipad yung inyong topic, lumilipad yung lesson mo. Ang dami kasing topics, kailangan sabi ng principal mo, maubos mo yung librong ito, no? Ganyang kakapal na libro, dapat imaubos mo. And so lumilipad yung discussion nyo. That's letter D, lack of personal analysis and reflection. Now we go to 19. After reading an essay, teacher baby wants to help sharpen her student's ability to interpret. Which of these activities will be most appropriate? Ma'am Maylin Mongkal, dito sa YouTube, English major daw po siya. Ma'am Maylin, if you can go to Facebook at mag-comment po kayo doon, or yes, punta po muna kayo sa Facebook, Ma'am Maylin. Mag-comment po kayo sa nakapin na comment ni Sir Nelson Ataban. She wants to join your barkada, si Ma'am Maylin Mongkal. Mag-comment po kayo mag-contact po kayo kay Sir Nelson Ataban, nakapin po yung comment niya. Nasa Facebook po sila, Ma'am Maylin. Puntahan niyo po muna sa Facebook. Dahil hindi po nila nakikita yung inyong comment sa YouTube. Okay, what's your answer here for number 19? Second to the last. Letter A, drawing conclusions. Letter B, making inferences. Letter C, getting the main idea. Or letter D, is it listing facts separately from opinion? Ayan na, Sir Nelson. Nag-comment na si Ma'am Maylin. So, 4 na yata kayo, sir. Ayan po, Sir Nelson. Nag-comment na po si Ma'am Maylin. 4 na po kayo. Math major, Sir Vin Chago. Meron kanina naghahanap ng math major. Sina, Sir, mag-backread po kayo, sir. Na naghahanap kanina ng math major. Si Sir Mr. Lover, 2009. Ayan, may kasama siya si Sir Joseph Caronan, si Ma'am Jeanette Jane Milianes. Eto, meron pong bago si Sir Vin Chago, nag-comment siya, math major din siya. Baka may social studies, meron dito sa YouTube naghahanap, si Sir Balong the Explorer. Okay, now going back to the question that we have here, second to the last question na po tayo. After reading an essay, teacher baby wants to help sharpen her students' ability to interpret. Interpretation dito. Which of these activities will be most appropriate? Now, the correct answer here would be, karamihan sa inyo, letter C. The correct answer is letter B, making inferences. Making inferences, that would be synonymous with your interpretation. Pareho po yung interpret and inference. Now, remember, when we say inference, it is very closely related to your observation. Yung difference lamang po ng observation and inference nyo is that observation are the things that you can see, no, by using your 5 senses. These are the things that you observe, no? Observation nga, you use your 5 senses. Now, when you say say inference, these are, or this is an opinion that you can form based on what you have observed, So here, after reading an essay, no, based on what they have seen, based on what they have read, they are now going to make their interpretation by making inferences. That's the correct answer. Ligwak, sabi ni Sir Alvi. Okay, now this here, as I've mentioned, observation nyo is the use of the five senses, and inference is an opinion that you form based on what you have observed. Now, say you have this as a picture, okay? Say you have this as a picture, and I'm going to ask you, which among the following sentences is an inference based on the picture shown? Okay, so again, ang question ko is, which among the following sentences is an inference based on the picture shown? Letter A, a branch has been cut. Okay, a branch has been cut from the tree, for example. Letter B, the boy has fallen from the branch. Letter C, there is a goat beside the stream. Or letter D, there is a boat inside the stream or inside the pond. There's a boat inside the pond. Okay, again, our question is, which among the following sentences is an inference about the picture? Is it letter A, one branch is cut from the tree? Letter B, the boy has fallen from the branch. Letter C, there's a goat beside the pond. Letter D, there's a boat in the pond. What's your answer? If that's the question, we're looking for the inference. Okay, what do you think is the answer? If that's your question, we're looking for the inference. The correct answer there would be, if that's we're looking for inference. And the sentences that we have is letter A, one branch is cut off from the tree. Letter B, the boy has fallen from the branch. Letter C, there's a goat beside the pond. And letter D, there's a boat in the pond. The correct answer is letter B. Tama yung letter B. There's a boy, or the boy has fallen from the branch of the tree. Bakit siya naging inference? Because you cannot see it. Okay, hindi nyo nakikita na nagfo-fall talaga yung bata. That's just your inference. Opinion nyo yan. That's the opinion that you have formed in your mind based on what you have observed here. But based on what you see, you have seen that there's one cut branch, and so you assume or you infer that the boy has fallen from that cut branch. Okay, so yan po yung pagkakaiba ng observation and inference natin. Tandaan po ito, especially if you're a math major, if you're a science major, no, physical science, or physical science, biological sciences. If you are given a graph, for example, or maaaring sa inyong lahat din, pag nasa Gen Ed, you are given a graph, tapos yung tanong is inference, hindi observation. Yung inference po ay yung opinion na na-form nyo based sa kung ano nakikita nyo sa graph. Hindi po siya direktang binibigay ng graph nyo. Okay? So that would be your inference and observation. So if you see the word inference, hindi siya katulad ng observation. So dapat i-analyze yung mabuti yung inyong question. All right, now we go to the last question tonight. Okay, si Ma'am Christina Cabo, may question dito. Ano pong pagkakaiba ng opinion sa conclusion? Of course, when you say opinion, that is just a statement formed by a person. Na opinion mo, that's your own opinion, di ba? Subjective siya. When you say conclusion, your conclusion kasi this is a general statement based on, if we are scientifically speaking, this is a general statement, this is a summary of all your findings. So summary na siya ng lahat ng findings mo. Kunwari, bibigyan kita ng example, Ma'am Tien. Meron kang boyfriend, okay? Di ba? Merong boyfriend si Ma'am Tien, no? Tago na lamang natin sa pangalang Sir O. Pagkatapos, si Sir O ay may kasama mo siya, for example, nag-date kayo kasi nga birthday mo kahapon. Okay? So, 6 feet apart pa rin ba ngayon? 1 meter apart. Okay? So, 1 meter apart kayo, nag-date kayo kahapon dahil birthday mo. Pagkatapos, habang kausap mo siya, kumakain kayo ng handa mo nga dahil birthday mo, smile ng smile si Sir O at meron siyang, hawak niya yung cellphone niya. Okay? Now, yung opinion mo, marahil meron siyang ka-text na iba. Okay? That's your opinion. That's your idea form based on what you can see, no? What you have observed. That's your opinion. No? Para siyang inference. And then, yung conclusion mo naman, yan, gagawin mo na, magkakaroon ka ng conclusion right after nag-analyze ka, right after nag-investiga ka na. No? So after ng investigation mo, scientific investigation mo, kunwari, you have already come up with your conclusion. So conclusion is the general statement, that's the summary based on what you have gathered in your analysis, what you have gathered in your experiment, for example. Okay, so that's your conclusion. All right, now we go back to number 20. What type of questioning does the following depict? How could this information be corrected or approved? Is it letter A, fact, letter B, convergent, letter C, analytical, letter D, knowledge? What's the answer? Ang interpretation and conclusion, halos pareho sila ng explanation ko, Sir JMBM Arts. Ang interpretation mo kasi inference mo siya, that's your opinion. So hindi pa siya, yung conclusion kasi final na siya kaya siya tinawag na conclusion. Tapos na, no? Pagkatapos mong mag-analyze, mag-study and everything, siya na yung general statement mo. Yun na yung buod. Okay, what's your answer here? A lot of you are answering letter C. Math major, sabi dito sa YouTube, please PM Roel Panugalinog, Pope John Paul yung kanyang icon. Again, pag math major ka, naghahanap ka ng kabarkada, i-PM mo si Sir Roel Panugalinog. Roel Panugalinog, yung kanyang icon daw ay si Pope John Paul. You PM him on Facebook. Si Sir Roel, R-O-E-L, Panugalinog, P-A-N-U-G-A-L-I-N-O-G. Okay, so that's for the math majors. Yung kanyang icon daw ay si Pope John Paul. That's for math majors. Oh, tama yan, Ma'am Ritz Polon. Sabi ni Ma'am Ritz dito, opinion, parang bukas na statement, may pwede pang makapasok na ibang statement. Pag conclusion, close statement na, wala na. Salamat. Tama yan. Oh, kaya sabi dito ni Kapitan, Kapitan Emerson, kaya Ma'am Tin, huwag kang mag-conclude ka agad. Okay, we're down to the last question tonight. What type of questioning does the following depict? How could this information be corrected or approved? The correct answer here is letter C. Letter C pong tamang sagot dito. Tama po yung letter C. Okay, so again, letter C is the correct answer here. Fact question, your convergent question, knowledge question, pare-pareho lamang po to. Pareho po sila. Pag fact, meron siyang single answer. Convergent, single answer. Knowledge level questions mo, one answer lamang. Okay? So, easy recall lamang. Fast recall. But your answer here for number 20 is you analyze, analytical. How could this information be corrected or approved? Okay? So, that ends tonight's discussion. Meron pa naghahanap dito ng MAPE, si Ma'am Lady Lee Maristela. Meron ding naghahanap ng BEd. Naghanap ng kabarkada, si Ma'am Pampam. Siguro what you can do na lang is balikan nyo po yung ating live stream later at tingnan nyo po yung, ang tawag dito, yung mga comments. Okay, tingnan nyo po yung comment. All right, so that ends tonight's discussion of our professional education. We are going to be back on the 26th. So 26 na po tayo babalik. But of course, these materials go straight to Grow after this discussion. And nandiyan na po yan sa inyong Grow. So make sure that you log into your Grow. That's Guru Pinoy Review Online Work Group, our exclusive FB group. Of course, you can only find that on Facebook. Now, again, we are coming back on the 26th. So yan po yung ating schedule. Next schedule po would be on the 26th. That's 7:30 p.m. Philippine time for our Gen Ed discussion. At 7 a.m. In the morning of the 26th, I am already going to be posting your quizzes link. So, po pwede na pong answeran yung inyong quizzes test through our Facebook page on the 26th. And of course, we are still going to have our ProfEd Gen Ed discussion 27, 28, until the 29th of 2020. You also have your 26 and 27 with Doc H. Lagon. So abangan nyo po yan. The most important thing for you to do, the best thing for you to do is to follow us on Facebook. You click on that follow icon para po ma-notify kayo pag meron po kami mga announcements doon. Okay? Of course, you can go back to our YouTube channel and check all the videos. So we have the live streams that we have over 60 videos already. The playlist for Gen Ed, playlist for ProfEd, for Science, marami pong playlist dyan na makakapag-help po sa inyo para maipasa itong inyong upcoming let. And of course, now we end our night by having our closing prayer. So please join me in our closing prayer. This is still by Brother Efren Esteban.
Muli po ay inaanyayahan ko po kayo mga kaguro para sa ating panghuling panalangin sa sandaling ito. Tayo po ay manalangin, Panginoon. Muli po, nagpapasalamat po kami na ginabayan po kami, prinotektahan at naging matagumpay po ang amin pong pag-aaral po na ito. At Panginoong Diyos, sa mga natutunan po namin sa sandaling ito, sana po ay manatili ito sa aming isip, sa aming puso, O Diyos. At patuloy po ang aming pasasalamat sa Gurong Pinoy International sa patuloy niyang ginagawa sa bawat isa sa amin. At sana po ay maabot po namin ang mga pangarap po namin, O Diyos. Hindi po namin kaya ito kung wala po ang iyong tulong. Kaya Ama, kami po ay nagpapakumbaba sa iyo, O Diyos, na sana po ipagkaloob mo po ito sa amin sa tamang panahon. At sa amin pong paghihiwalay sa sandaling ito, sana po ay dala po namin ang pag-asa, dala po namin ang pananampalataya na nagmumula po sa iyo, O Diyos. At ikaw nga po ang rason kung bakit po kami nabubuhay, kung bakit po kami nandito, O Diyos, na makapagbigay po kami ng glory sa iyong dakilang pangalan, O Diyos. At pagpalain mo po ang bawat pamilya namin, bawat trabaho namin, kalusugan namin, O Diyos. Alam mo namin na ikaw ay nandyan, tumitingin, hindi ka nagkukulang, O Diyos. Ikaw ay isang makapangyarihang Diyos na yumayakap at nagpapala ho sa amin. Kaya Panginoon, narito pong bawat isa, sana po ay mapakinggan mo ang mga panalangin po namin na ito, O Diyos, na sama-sama. Salamat po sa lahat at ito po ang aming dalangin sa pangalan ni Jesus na aming Panginoon at tagapagligtas. Amen.
Amen at amen. Okay, so that ends tonight's discussion. Again, we are going to see each other again on the 26th. So Merry Christmas po sa lahat. Magkita-kita po tayo muli sa 26. No? 26, don't forget, you still have 3 to 5 p.m. with Dr. Lagon prior to our discussion. Meron po tayong discussion at 7:30 p.m. But before that, 3 to 5 p.m., meron po kayong live discussion with Dr. H. No? That's for general science. So again, we'll see each other again on the 26th of December. Merry Christmas to everyone. I all hope that you stay safe and that you all have a wonderful time with your family and friends as you celebrate the coming of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Okay? So, of course, Merry Christmas. Pasintabi po sa ating mga kapatid na Muslim. Alright, so sa muli, ito po sa ang inyong Gurong Pinoy Coach Mac na nagsasabing maliit man na butil ng mga kaalaman, ang dulo nito ay malaking kaginawaan. Good night! See you on the 26th. Bye!